Hey everybody, no, I don't really generally work on trailers and stuff, but on our own stuff we've got to do a bit of maintenance every now and then. We've got a couple or a few trailers and they come and go. This one's a jet ski trailer, and I just want to give you some info because I've found a few things that are quite surprising. So I'm going to start with some general info. Remember, this is 4x4 Adventures, but we're going to go through some of the mechanicals because to do an adventure you need to keep it reliable. And that's why I'm going to run through this stuff. It's all over 4x4 Diesel, our other YouTube channel. Not so much on trailers, but I guess that's why you want to be on both channels. Now, what I was planning to do at the moment is, and I like to do it every year, and I know it doesn't happen quite often, a lot longer than that. That is to take a look at the wheel bearings. So you can either just jack it up, check if there's play there, give them a spin, see if there's noise. That's more of a, I'm not going to go more than a few hundred Ks from home check. If you're going to take your caravan around Australia, your camper trailer, something heavy, I would be doing a full maintenance before every trip. And this is the sort of thing that you don't have to do on your vehicle anymore because they're all sealed bearings. And that's why on the Prado and the Hilux, we offer the front wheel bearing assemblies assembled, ready to go, because quite simply, you can't do the maintenance on them like you used to, like you still can on a trailer. So they just need to be replaced. They're sealed units, if you like. So we're going to get into this wheel bearing checking and adjusting and a couple of shortcut ways of re-greasing the bearings or the full re-grease, whatever you want, shortly. But I want to first tell you about tyres. So let's go to tyres. Tyres and your wheel bearings and your brakes, obviously, are your big safety factors. You really need to look over the whole trailer and check for cracks quite often. You get mud guards that vibrate around a lot, which can crack welds. This one will typically start right about the top. Does that look like something, everybody, right? So, you know, there's quite a, you got this extra. So back in the day when they used to just have that and they'd weld it there thinking she'll be right, mate, well, that'll just tear to pieces, which is why it's a bit of a step, you know, put your boot on to step on to climb up is good, but it's also adding all this extra strength supporting the mudguard. But you need to check all your welds. This is a crappy trailer, I just want to say very clearly. It should have 1, 2, should have 3 cross members, not just 2. 2 is just cheap crap for a small jet ski maybe. It's quite a large jet ski, so a lot of people hate jet skis. That's just the way you travel on the water to explore, same as you do in your four-wheel drive. Just like walkers hate four-wheel drives, and you've got to deal with that. You know, when you're driving up a track and they stop and look at you and give you that look and you give them a wave, how you going, and they just, you know, well, sometimes you might get something back. Yeah, some people know what I mean anyway. Well, it's the same with jet skis. You hate jet skis, or that's the few people that gave him a bad name. Ran around in circles in the same spot, annoying the hell. I totally get it. That's not me. We're just cruising. We're just looking at, checking out the coastline, the islands, and all the places you can't see from the four-wheel drive and on the land. And you can look at it with your drone if you like, but we prefer to actually be there and go into it and under it, that sort of thing. And of course, you can jump off and go for a swim, do some snorkeling or diving of sorts to have a look at things. So it's another access point. So I'm just defending the jet ski for a minute there. So a large jet ski should have 3 big cross members. So if you're going to buy a jet ski, be careful what sort of trailer you buy for a start. If you've got what you've got, then any trailer, box trailer, camper trailer, whatever, you want to check all your, just think, all the loads coming through your tyres, through your axles, you need to check in everything. Spring hangers are another big thing. There's not much there. All the pounding's coming through, like I just said, through the spring, straight to there, and what will happen is this will end up along there or underneath. See, this side you can't even see it. You need to get down underneath and have a bit of a look-see. All right, that's things that happen. Springs, they rust out and fall to pieces. These ones are on the way. Axles can break, U-bolts, all sorts of things. But one of the common ones when you see a trailer on the side of the road, normally on a blacktop road, is going to be bearings or tyres. So we're going to cover that one in this video. And maybe we'll have another video talking more about the structural stuff that it'll just fall to pieces when you take it into the outback, so be careful of that. So this one, it was sitting for a couple of months. It's winter, and I noticed that side tyre went flat that I'd never noticed before. So I pushed it into the workshop. I pumped up the tyre. It's holding air, and I just took the wheels off to have a bit of a look-see to see what's going on. And this one here, that's what it should normally look like. That's the one from this side. But the one that was flat, let's just have a look at it. It is just ridiculous. And I didn't even have any clue about this. I don't know if you can see that, but it's really, well, not everywhere. So it's kind of almost flat there, but it's really rounded off at this area here. Right, see that big bulge, how it's completely out of shape, twisted up. and then it sort of goes, look at the big kick in it there, so it's absolutely off its head. Then you can see it's starting to rip open there. So this is a no-go. This is not even a spare tyre. This is rubbish. Okay, so this is a rubbish tyre now. And maybe because it's 12 years old and it's just got old. Let's have a look what it is and have a look at some of the damage on the sidewall. That woke you up, I bet. Right, so there's our size. You can see the rips starting there. Blah, blah, blah. This side, you know, sort of tells you what the problem is just looking at it. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, you get what you pay for, Dongfeng. So whoever built, like I said, it's a cheap trailer. If I purchased this jet ski new, great Yamaha jet ski, there's no way I would get this brand of trailer because I'm not happy with the quality of what I see, right? So I'm not going to, you know, worry about naming them or anything like that. We're just having a look around the trailer and whatever, because whatever, it's each to their own what you want to do. But you know, you go and get a cheap trailer, you get some cheap wheels. Hey, these wheels might not have even come on the trailer. This could be some aftermarket idea, but I'll tell you what, how's that for an aftermarket idea, right? Right, now, I believe they were probably on there because look, that says 4912 and the ski and the trailers are 13. So the tyres, they're 13 years old. I still wouldn't expect this to happen, but they're getting replaced. When you see one, you don't just replace one, even though this one looks okay. The spare over there on the front looks okay, never been used, right? Let's go and have a look at him. Right, looks pretty good, doesn't it? So I could run the other two and go, should be right, mate, you know? But I really feel a bit nervous that I need to replace all three, even though, yeah, it looks good. Or do I get two and just keep that one as a spare? Serious question. Anyway, bada bing. Keep this one for a spare, keep that one for a spare, put those two on, buy that one, keep it good. So that way you get two flat tyres and you've got one spare. It doesn't work out well, does it, right? So, bada bing, I think it's going to be 3 new tyres. Like, you know, for the sake of reliability in another 10 years, even if you can only get Chinese tyres for this size wheel, whatever, right? So moving on. Check your tyres. Get down on the ground, have a look at all the treads. Have a look at the inside sidewall. Have a look at the outside sidewall. Have a look at the tread like this. You're going to need to jack it up, spin it around, get a light, shine it into the tread and have a good look at it. And once you start seeing deterioration in those cracks, it's time to say bye-bye. Right, when I say those cracks, see in the sidewall, see these cracks starting? That's a telltale sign, right? It's about to let you down, and that's not what you want. So someone might have painted the wheels, I feel. They might have put some plasti dip on it by the looks of it. Not a product that I'd use, but we'll give them a good clean up. And if we hit it hard enough with a pressure washer, that'll actually come off and then we can just paint them black. We can just leave the things alone because they look a bit grotty like that, don't they? I don't mind the black, but... All right, wheel bearings. Let's just do some info on a quick wheel bearing check. So, with your wheels on, you can give it a spin, right? Just listen to it. See if it sounds smooth. If there's rumbling, there's wear on your bearings, it's time to order some new bearings. Get the ones that are made in Japan, not the ones that are made elsewhere, you know what I mean? Right, you can check for play. So spin them, it's all quiet, it's smooth. You want to feel a bit of resistance. That means the preload on the bearings has probably been set up okay and there's still some grease in there. If it's like really loose and spinning and you spin, it just spins forever. Like see that one, it's sort of got a bit of load on it, you know what I mean? So that's still, so it's telling me there's some grease in there because there's resistance. So let's go over to the other side of the trailer and safety, of course. Always jack stands, leave the jack there if you like. Things fall on you, you get injured, so just be careful, right? Let's check this one out. So this one's got a little bit less, but see the nut's still about the same. It's not bad. You can see the grease is looking all right. It's not like it's been full of water, so I was contemplating, am I going to get some bearing buddies and put them on, this and that. At the moment, I'm not seeing grease leaking out the back here in a big way. I'm not seeing water. If there's water, it'd be all grey and watered out, so it's still green. But then we need to see more, because what's on the outside of the cap might not have got wet enough, so we need to get this apart and have a look. But I'm just pointing out, you want to check for play in the bearings. So when you've got the wheel on, you know, wobble in and out. If there's a bit of play, you might need to just nip this up just a little bit. This isn't the exactly how to set up bearings video. This is more of a just quick check, and so you know you're aware of what's going on. If you don't know what to do, watch another video, stay tuned, subscribe, turn the bell on. We'll get to it, or go check it out on, I reckon on 4x4 Diesel. I did some trailer maintenance I certainly did the trailer maintenance this year. Did I put a video out? Maybe go check it out. So what we need to do now is to remove this assembly. I'm going to give you the basics, right? All there is, you got your axle, you got this split pin here, which goes through this cage nut that locks it in. You've got to pick your position. Is it one more notch that way or that way? And that's probably why it's got that little bit of movement, because if you went up to there, maybe it was a little bit too tight. So you've got to pick your spacing, right? Just briefly how to set it up. Technically, I'll preload it. That is, never tighten that without this spinning. So I'll have this turning while I'm tightening it. I'll tighten it in quite firmly to make sure all the bearings and cones and everything are seated in nicely. And then I'll back it off, and then I'll do it up tight as I can by hand while spinning it. And then I'll just give it a little bit more of a nip. So I'm just giving it the slightest little bit of preload. Not tight on the bearing, you're just going to cook them. You're just going to overload them. You don't want that, and you don't want them loose either. The Ford bearings are generally better than the Holden bearings, but there's some other ones you can get as well. I don't know which ones these are, but they're all looking pretty good. I'm going to take off the split pin, take off the nut, then there'll be a flat washer. There'll be the small bearing on the outer. Then the whole hub will come off, because this one's got the type of seal where the rubber stays on the back. It'll probably stay on the back of the axle. There's some different types of seals where you got to put the bearing in. The back bearing's the bigger bearing. You got to put it in, and then you've got to put the seal in behind it. So when you pull this off, the whole lot comes off together. What I expect to happen with this one, and I'm not doing a video on it. I'm just doing a chit chat to give you some ideas, maintenance things to look for. When this one pulls off, the seal will probably stay behind, and the bearing might be it'll just be loose and ready to lift out, or there's going to be a metal plate, stainless steel, that's pressed in the back there that stops the bearing from falling out. So then we'll carefully remove that. You might see the edge of it if it's there. See that? It's a bit dirty to see at the moment. We'll go around the other side, see if we can see anything. So sometimes you get a trailer and they've got, on my 8x5 box trailer, one side has got this type of seal set up and the other side's got the opposite. So there you can see it a bit better. You can see the rubber, and just on that lip, there's a lip there of that stainless steel that presses in the back of the hub. So that'll retain the bearing in here so it can't fall out when the hub comes off. So the rubber will stay there. So what I'm gonna do at the moment is pull it apart. I'm gonna keep it all clean. I'm gonna only wipe the bearings with a really clean rag so none of this dirt and debris gets to the bearings. I'm not gonna wash them out because they seem good. I'm gonna push more grease through them, and I'm gonna put it all back together nice and clean. Now that's not a full repack. You can do replacement bearings. You can do wash out the bearings, clean out the whole thing thoroughly and repack. That's the full repack. So you've got the bearing replacements going all the way. The full repack is the wash and repack. This one's the check, and then make a decision from when I pop it out what's going to happen. At this stage I already know I'm going to push some more grease through the bearings. Like I said, it's nice and blue here. I don't see any water, grey, anything in there, so I believe the dust cap is doing a good job of keeping it all sealed up. And I've got this thing of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's done thousands of Ks like this. It's been in and out of salt water. The seals, I do like these seals the best, by the way. And if you really want to be slack on your maintenance, you get some bearing buddies. They go on here, and you pump them up with a grease gun. And if you pump them enough, it'll be full in here. It'll be full through the whole hub. The grease will start coming out the back. You actually pop this back seal out. It'll fall on the ground. So put a rag down, just jack it up like this, pump it up, and you can do a repack without even pulling it apart. If you do that every year on your boat, trailer, jet ski, anything going in salt water or water is probably a good idea. And then afterwards, clean it all the excess out, just push that seal back in and you're good to go. Although, I'm not saying that's what you should do, because it depends on what seals. There's a lot of variables, general information. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. Just trying to give you some advice on checking your trailer, checking your tires, bit of a longer video, heaps of info. Hope you liked it. If you did, hit the like button, and bada bing, we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.